Hi, I'm Erin Freeman, and I'm Artistic Director of the City Choir of Washington. And I'm inviting you to our upcoming concert on November 19th. At 5 p.m. on that Sunday, we'll present Bach's Magnificat in E flat major and a set of lush, beautiful a cappella works programmed to complement the Bach. Now, I am biased, but I do think this will be a remarkably beautiful concert featuring city choir in both Baroque complexity and a cappella glory. Our soloists are Laura Choi Stewart, Jana Kreitz, Oliver Mercer, and Justin Harrison are spectacular, and our orchestra is top notch, including trumpets, oboe, strings, organ, timpani, and even 2 recorders. So we have all kinds of information on this concert on our website, including links to program notes, web pages, and more. So feel free to geek out about all of this incredible music. And you can follow us on social media to get some short tidbits of information as we count down to this Sunday before Thanksgiving concert, our unofficial kickoff to the holidays. But today what I want to do is share a snapshot of my youth. So since I was 6, I had the great fortune to be an audience member and then a children's choir singer and then an official Atlanta Symphony Chorus member for the historic concerts, those Christmas with Robert Shaw performances. And the concert would shape my life. It represented joy and peace and excellence and time to reflect. It was so thoughtfully curated to tell a narrative, perhaps of the Christmas story, or more like the human experience, a story of musical excellence. And Mr. Shaw did not allow applause. So he would go attacca or attached from one piece to the next piece, every so often interjecting with his booming preacher-trained voice with readings. And although it definitely had a Christmas bent, it was by no means a religious experience. Rather, it was like a community experience where Mr. Shaw, through the music and through all the musicians and through the support and eagerness of the audience, he did what he did best, which was bring people together and make them better human beings. So one of the choruses that would perform on this concert was the Morehouse Glee Club. And each year they would raise the roof of the Woodruff Art Center with Betelehemu. And it was this rousing work for percussion and voices. Its energy and its power and its total uniqueness on the program left us all breathless. And we were all ready to jump to our feet with loud applause. But remember, Mr. Shaw did not want to go down that road. He did not want us to clap. So, as the last note of Betelehemu was still ringing in the hall, he would turn around and say, "My soul magnifies the Lord, and my spirit rejoices in God, my Savior." And he would go on to quote some of the translation of the Canticle of Mary or the Magnificat. And this was the same text that Bach had set many years before, so 300 years ago this year. And as a kid, I thought it was just a really clever way to stop the applause. But now that I've studied various Magnificats by Bach and by others, and in this context of this world with all of its emphasis on money and trappings and greed, particularly around Christmas time, I know now that it was an admonition to do much more than just sit on our hands in silence in that concert. The text, for example, speaks of scattering the proud and dethroning the mighty and sending the rich away empty-handed. But really, more importantly, it mentions respecting and exalting the lowly and feeding the hungry and spreading mercy. And in the concert with Mr. Shaw, we would maybe follow that movement, that reading with the first movement of Bach's Magnificat, or maybe even with Rachmaninoff's Bogorodice Dziewo, which was a honoring of the Virgin Mary. It didn't really matter what we followed it with because we were all so breathless from that Morehouse Glee Club and from Shaw's delivery of the Magnificat, that the message was loud and clear regardless of the following piece. Christmastime was no time to acquire, but it was the time to give, of spirit, of music, of artistic beauty and excellence, and of self. And so that's what this city choir concert this year means to me. So while we do celebrate the 300th anniversary of this remarkable piece by Bach, we are ultimately using it as a springboard to bring a little bit of beauty and glory to this world that needs it so much. So I'm going to close with a very Robert Shawian quote about Bach's Magnificat. He wrote, "I felt, because I was taken with the text through my collegiate studies of English literature and of philosophy and religion, that the text seemed to me enormously important. The jubilation of a Magnificat, 'My soul magnifies the Lord,' I can hear his voice saying that, led me into excesses of vocalism and sort of shouting, exuberant sounds. And it took me a long while, at least 3 to 4 years, before I could really understand that the Bach exuberance was not the exuberance of decibels, but was an exuberance of animation and a complexity of utterance, one line against the other, so that there was never less than a duet, and there were frequently trios, quartets, quintets, and sextets and octets of lively material, which must be so ordered and subtly organized that one could hear into the sound." Love that. So we hope to see you on November 19th with all of our complex, jubilant utterances and our lush a cappella songs. I think it'll be a lovely way to kick off the holiday season. See you there.